Sarnage.
Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner. I'm Lynx and this is the Bandit. Yes, so this truck actually comes with the DLC for Yukon. So you get this truck just in your garage, or you got this truck when they released the Phase 2 Yukon expansion. And I thought to myself, why not try and use this truck instead of the Fleet Star for a little bit? Main reasons are, this is actually an off-road truck as opposed to a heavy-duty truck, which is what the Fleet Star is. Now don't get me wrong, the Fleet Star is perfectly capable, but I think for the mission we're going to be doing next, the Bandit might actually be slightly more suited. So we'll give it a go, you know, and see how it performs. And what's the worst that can happen? We get stuck? Yeah, it's pretty bad, but hey, you know, gotta try these things. It's also 8-wheel drive, which is really nice. Still only has highway tyres at the moment because we don't have the experience to unlock any other types of tyres for it, so you know, that might be the downfall here, but we'll see how we go, see how this thing manages itself in the snow and the mud. And if we can't do anything, then hey, you know, we'll probably just pop back to Michigan or something until we get some slightly better tyres. But you know, it's doing okay so far. Whilst we're on our way here, we are also going to see if we can't grab this trailer over here. This may be a terrible, terrible idea, but we shall see how badly this goes. So, what we have to do here is grab, tell you what, we need to reverse around a little bit so that we can actually get the right winch point. That's the one we want, and we're just going to drag this trailer back in this direction, and hopefully we can do this. If we can just get it back to the road here, we should be able to hook this trailer up. Ooh, come on now. And we're back on the road. Well, if you can call it a road. Okay, handbrake on, let's winch this sucker in and attach her up. We need to get a bit closer. And there we go. Okay, so this tanker we've got to take to the fuel station, which is just here actually, oil tank delivery. So as it's on the way, we might as well try. We've just got to get through this bit of road and then we can carry on up and around here, grab some planks, or some metal beams I should say, at the factory, and then take it back down this road, back down here, and hand it in here. That's the plan. Whether it happens or not is completely up to whether I can actually get through here on highway tyres, basically. It's it may be a bit of a slow trek, but we'll see how we go. I do remember this particular road not being that that great. Very muddy, very snowy, but so far so good. Gosh, that trailer is close. I do hope I don't have to make any kind of serious turn, because with that trailer that close I'm not going to be able to do it. Just switched into low gear just to see if we can get a little bit more traction. Good thing about the Bandit is that we do have all-wheel drive and diff lock, which is always engaged. So we have the maximum available grip at any one time. Now this bit here may be tricky because that is a lot of snow, and there's not an awful lot of winch points here either. Not until we get to that big tree directly in front of us over there. But it's going slowly. Sometimes this is all you can do with SnowRunner, is just have a go, and sometimes the going will be incredibly slow, but we are coming to a stop here. Oh, that tree has turned into a polygon that is now vanishing into the ether. I've not seen that before. Oh, that was behind us, game. We didn't want that. Now we are still making a little bit of progress here. So I'm going to carry on. If I just winch a little bit at a time when needed, just a little brief tug, it just gets the wheels shifting in a different direction. It finds a little bit of grip in a slightly different location, and helps just to kind of pull you through. I think we've pretty much exhausted most of our winch points that are usable now, so we've just got to kind of carry on. I mean, once we've gotten through this road and back onto the main road, we shouldn't ever have to actually use this stretch of road ever again, because we'll have unblocked, we should be able to then unblock the main road and use that from then on. Go. Alright, little downhill section here. I'm going to switch back to automatic, get some speed going down this little bit of hill. So that's all worked nicely. Oh dear, no, back to low range. You will find yourself doing this more and more. Oh. My trailer's stuck on my on the back of my truck there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this bit coming up here is actually probably one of the most difficult sections to get through. Because there is a distinct lack of winch points, but if you can see that tank over there, that is the fuel station. So if we can get through this little bit here, we should be able to make it. Again, just gently tugging on these bushes just to keep us moving at a slow pace. Just hope we can, if we can get in range of that tree over there. Yeah, there we go. We can give ourselves a little pull from here. Switch back to automatic, and I think we can just power through the rest of this now. Ah, look at that. What a little trooper this Bandit is. It's not the best truck by a long shot, but you know, that was an impressive little display, I think. Just want to get some rubber on the asphalt here. Alright, so all we need to do is just activate that task. Where do we need to drop off? We need to drop off just over there. So let's take this round here, and there we go. Refuel the Bandit, and then we're going to head back, get ourselves a metal beam. So the rest of this journey should be relatively straightforward. I think there's one section of road coming up that is quite muddy, but after what we just dealt with there, I think we can handle anything. We just need to get across this river here. There we go. And then we just carry on. See, you can conquer anything. What I do hope is that this little Bandit can manage the weight of the metal beams when we come back up that hill there, and also when we go through some of the slightly deeper mud that's coming up in a moment. Good thing is there's lots of trees to winch to. I think we'll be okay here. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. What a little trooper. What an absolute little trooper. Grab this task whilst we're here. Head into here. And we'll grab some metal beams. Just checking behind buildings, because sometimes you can find that the game will deposit a trailer behind a building like that, and you won't even know it's there until you have a look. So nothing there this time. So let's head back to the rock slide and hand in these metal beams. And I think because we leveled up recently, let's have a quick peek. Yes, we're now level 4. We should be able to get all-terrain tyres on our vehicles. So once we've delivered these, I think a quick recovery back to the garage to fit some new tyres, and then we'll move on to the next part of our plan here in Alaska, because there's a couple of things I still want to do before I switch back to Michigan. There are 2 more trucks here in Alaska that I can reasonably easy get a hold of, and providing I'm careful, that will help us in in completing some of the tasks we've got to do in Michigan. Especially one of the trucks in particular is very, very useful. The other is maybe not as useful because we have the Bandit. It's another off-road truck, but it's still a very good truck, and we'll probably use it for a few missions here and there. It's also one of my favourites. Sadly, it's not as good as some other trucks. Otherwise, I'd be singing its praises just like the Fleet Star. But you know, it has its limitations, sadly. But we'll get to those ones in a little bit once we've cleared the road. There is one other obstacle we need to take care of on this main road before we can actually use the full thing for what we need to do, and that is we need a bridge built further down the road in the other direction, and I believe we need metal planks for that as well. So once we've cleared this obstacle, we'll take the calm down and just check out that task, and then and there we go, one cleared obstacle. So we're going to recover this guy back to the garage and just have a check to see if we... No, this needs level 6 to upgrade its tyres. Interesting. Maybe it was the Fleet Star that we could upgrade. So we'll bring this back as well, we might as well. We'll have a look at the tyres. Oh no, it was level 6 for the Fleet Star as well. So, can't do anything with that just yet. But that's fine. Where's the Cairn at? There's the Cairn. Right. Just did that to get a bit of fuel, and now we're going to head down the road in the other direction and see if we can't find out what we need for the other task that's ahead of us. Once we have that sorted out, we should be able to grab the first of the 2 trucks that we're here on Alaska for. It's like a skating rink. Oh, come on, little con. Get out the verge. There we go. That's better. Ooh, come on. There we go. This road is incredibly icy. It's not as icy as some roads, but such as the Kola Peninsula has even more ice than Alaska, and it's a nightmare. There's some roads you can't even get up without chain tires. Oh, this one is bad, but it's not as bad as it could be. You've just got to watch out because you will end up going sideways sometimes. So there's the one we want, bridge repairs, and we need one metal beam for that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the factory to the north, grab some metal beams, and head back down here. And we're then going to take the Cairn over to this watchtower and then find ourselves a nice new vehicle. That's the plan anyway. So we're going to leave this guy here for the time being. And where's garage marker? Scroll to there. Boom. So I think what we'll do is we'll take the Bandit with us again. I think it made a good job of its last little voyage, so we'll go and grab another lot of metal planks. Come on now. Right. Okay, we are speeding through here now. This little Bandit is a very capable little vehicle, I will say. Because it came out with the Yukon expansion, which has only just come out, I haven't really had the chance to test it out in different environments just yet. I only briefly used it in Yukon itself. And I don't know whether it was because Yukon is so incredibly difficult and really taxing on vehicles and, you know, your strategy, but I wasn't that impressed with it, you know. I found it a little bit lackluster. Its power wasn't that great. And it just seemed to, you know, it just seemed to struggle where other trucks would, you know, breeze through without much problem. But I have to say, trying it, woo! I didn't expect that to happen. That was, wow. That'll teach me to pay more attention to the road. That tunnel up there actually leads to one of the other areas, but at the moment it's blocked, so we can't actually use it to go through just yet. we have to go through another tunnel to a different area, and then from that area through to the third area, and then we can unblock the tunnel from the other end. So we won't be using that tunnel for a while. But anyway, yes, before I was so rudely interrupted by the slide of doom, yeah, I was just saying that this particular truck wasn't that impressive for me. I don't know. I think it must have been just because the Yukon region is so difficult, and this truck, whilst seeming to have quite a bit of good ability to it, maybe just can't tackle the Canadian wilds as easily as it can, say, the Alaskan wilds. Because even with highway tires, it is dealing with this climate really well, you know? It's just powering through really nicely. I may actually have found a new favourite truck in this one. But yeah, it's just super mobile, super agile. And I bet once we get some better tyres and a bigger engine in this sucker, it'll be really, really good in some of these early levels. I think once we start getting to Russia, we may need to switch over to some of the other trucks that are available, but for the time being, I think this one will definitely suffice in terms of getting the job done, you know? It's got a very decent turning arc to it as well, which is nice. Sometimes you find with these four-wheel steer trucks that they're just a bit kind of docile. One of the first Russian trucks that you can actually buy in the game is the Azov. I can't remember what the number on it is, because all the Russian trucks have crazy names, which are basically just a load of letters and numbers mashed together with the manufacturer before it. But it's a very similar truck to this. It's 8 wheels, all-wheel drive, diff lock always on, but it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more cumbersome. The turning circle is definitely worse. It does have a much larger fuel tank, and I think a slightly better power ratio, but it's nowhere near as agile as this truck. I'm very, very quickly becoming a fan of this truck the more I use it, and that's nice because I've used a lot of trucks in this game. I haven't used them all, but I found myself in my PS4 playthrough generally levitating towards maybe 2 or 3 trucks all the time and doing all the jobs with them. And whilst that's kind of good in some sense, it means that they're good, reliable workhorses, I kind of like being able to use other trucks in the same way. And this one is definitely a capable little vehicle. Anyway, I've waffled enough for the time being anyway. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's waffling. So I think we'll just stop in at the fuel station here to do a little drive-by refueling. There you go. No need to stop for fuel. That's for sissies. Yeah, so we'll refueled, and we'll now carry on back to the bridge, get that repaired, and then snag ourselves a third watchtower and hopefully a new truck. And that's probably where I'll end the video for this episode anyway. This one, I wanna get that truck, you know? Might be slightly longer in length. Than the previous videos, I should say. Slightly longer video, but you know, I think if we go for that end goal, oh, power! Let's do a Jeremy Clarkson on it. Something doesn't work, just get a bigger hammer. Appropriate sometimes. I do agree. Yeah, I am definitely loving this truck. I need to work out where I need to get this truck's upgrades because this thing is incredible. Well happy with this truck. Right, past the garage, down the road. Let's get this bridge done. Whee, sliding around. Goal is now in sight. It's round the corner now. Oh, there's the cairn. And there's the drop off. When it comes skidding in. Woo! Shazam! One bridge. Right, now then, we are going to finish off by grabbing this watchtower, grabbing a new truck, having a look at its upgrades, and that is probably where we will sign off for this video. So, let's get cracking. If we can get over these darn rocks. See what I mean? Rocks. The cause of and solution to all of life's problems. Maybe not the solution. Ooh, that was a bad thing to say. Right. And we're coming up here on the port, which is one of the major cargo kind of areas for this map. I think you can get most cargoes at the port, but we're not going to the port. We are taking this road here. This is the way to the watchtower. Come on, Khan. Yeah, we're getting into some serious mud now. Well, the Khan should be able to take this quite happily. Just got to make sure we don't roll over. But at least if we do have the autonomous scout winch on the Khan now. So if we do flip it, we can still get back on our wheels, which is immensely useful. I really can't stress that enough, guys. If you're starting off on this game, I know it's a lot of money for the autonomous scout, but it will save your bacon so many times, and it will save you a lot of time, especially if you are struggling with controls. Right. Now here's a major test for the Khan. We've got to go up here in order to get to the watchtower. And this is a very steep, very snowy climb. So hopefully we can get through without too many problems. Seems to be going okay so far. I know in the past I brought other vehicles along here and they were just like, nope. Just nope. Your other scout vehicles are very unlikely to get through there at this stage of the game, but the Khan, mincemeat. Okay, so a couple more tasks, a couple of roads to unblock there, warehouse, trailer park down there. But what we're interested are these two things here. Upgrade here and the Royal BM17. This is a really nice little off-road truck. It has some great options. And if I didn't have the Bandit, I would probably be using it all the time as my off-road truck. But, you know, we'll see how things go. The Royal will be easier to get upgrades for, so that's something in its favour. I believe most of the upgrades are probably going to be either here in Alaska or in Michigan, whereas I think the Bandit's probably going to be in Russia because it is a Russian truck. So we may end up using this more initially and then switching back over to the Bandit once we've got some additional. Oh, right. We just want to switch to morning. Once we've got some more upgrades for it, I think that'll probably be the plan, but we'll see how it goes. First things first, we've got to actually get it. It's actually seemingly harder going downhill than it is uphill here. Go figure. Right. Okay. There we are. Now we just need to get through this lot. Easier said than done, but we should be able to manage a bit of mud and snow here. It's nothing the Khan hasn't been able to handle yet, which is nice. They do seem to have sorted out its bounciness issue. As that was my one major gripe with the Khan when I first used it, is that it was very bouncy. It just always wanted to be on its roof as opposed to on its wheels. But at the moment, it's doing well. We'll just get through this swampy bit, and we're going to head to the right here in order to grab that upgrade first. And then we're going to head to the left and grab the BM Royal. There's the upgrade. So just need to get through here. This is where a snorkel really comes in handy, because if I didn't have a snorkel at this point, my engine would be taking damage, because this is sufficiently deep water to cause problems with your engine. And when you start taking water damage, it very quickly adds up. It starts off very slow, but it quickly becomes quite a dangerous thing. So we've got an upgrade for the Cat, which is a truck we don't have yet, but I do hope to have soon. Right, so let's just see if we can get round here. Come on, little Khan. Let's do this. Yeah, there we go. And the BM should be just behind those trees over there. So, come on, Khan. Come on. Come on. Oh, there's some rocks here, that's why I'm getting stuck. That's better. Hidden rocks, stealth rocks. Even worse than regular rocks, because they're hidden. Right, now then. Oh! There we go. I discovered it and I didn't even realise I was that close. So, I'm just going to stop here. Change truck, it's just over here. And here's the BM17. As you can see, pretty busted. If I try and start her up now, you can hear the engine going crackle. The gearbox is sufficiently broken that it keeps flashing over to neutral. So this is what can happen if your truck gets damaged. So the engine and the gearbox are completely broken there. So it's not going anywhere. So we're going to recover this guy back to the garage and just have a look at what we can do. So that's the engine we've currently got. We can buy a different engine, but it's not worth it, because all it does is reduce our fuel it increases our fuel consumption without giving us any benefit, so we're not going to do that. Still can't do anything with any of those, and I believe, yeah, still level 6 for the tyres, so that's fine. Can't do anything with the winches yet, or the spare wheel. We can put a snorkel on it, which I think we are going to do, because they are just immensely useful. And here you see all of our options again. Very versatile in terms of what it can have. It can have just about everything here. The Royal is one of those trucks, like I was mentioning in a previous video, where it can't have a sideboard bed or a flatbed and a crane and carry a trailer. It can have a crane and a flatbed, or it can have a flatbed and a trailer. So you've got to kind of decide what you want. I do believe it can have a saddle and a crane though, so that might be one way of doing it. If you put a loading crane and a low saddle on, you'll be able to tow semi-trailers with it. Let's give that a go, because the saddle doesn't cost anything. Yes, there we go. So that might be the best setup for the Royal if you want a crane. Don't need a crane. I tend to put a crane on every vehicle that I can possibly get, because a crane is a very useful useful add-on. If for nothing else, that if your trailer falls over, you have to repack your cargo using a crane. You can't just recover it straight into the back. So the crane is very useful for emergency. I'm not going to bother with any of those for the time being. No special things for no special DLC colour schemes for the Royal, sadly. But it does get a nice mint green. Ooh, that one's nice as well. Should we go for a red one? Let's go for a red one. Yeah. Royal red. Royal red, there we go. So, as you can see now, our fleet really is kind of taking shape in terms of trucks that we have. And you don't necessarily need to keep all of these. If you find you prefer, say, the Scout 800 to the Chevy, you can easily just sell the Chevy. You don't need to keep it. And that'll give you some more money to buy a truck, say. So there are plenty to choose from, and yeah, so that's another way of doing it, as opposed to unlocking trucks. If you don't find the Royal, by the way, the International Paystar is not a bad alternative. Does cost a little bit, but it's a very good off-road truck if you don't have the season pass, which means you won't have the Bandit. And if you don't find the Royal, this guy is pretty good. It does have one up on the Royal in that the Paystar has a switchable diff lock, which the Royal doesn't have. So there is that going for it. Like I said, that's the Freightliner. That's another good little truck. And then these are all Russian trucks here, or some of them are Russian trucks anyway. Some of them we just don't have the level. That's the Azov that I was talking about earlier. That's similar to the Bandit. It's a very capable truck. It's just a little bit. It's a bit slower than the Bandit, a little bit worse in its turning circle, but it does have a bigger fuel capacity and a better pulling power as well, I would say. But you'd have to go to Russia to buy that. And then we've got our Scouts as well. So, you know, there's plenty of good options, you know. There's no truck is an incorrect choice, shall we say. But now that we've got the Royal, we're going to call this episode here. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe.